Good morning, Facebook. Welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Gail. I am a bookseller here at New Story Community Books in downtown Marshall, Michigan. We are a new and a used bookstore for those of you that have never been in our store. Sorry, there's a bunch of pop ups that always come up whenever I start live, so I got to close out of all of those so I can see what you guys are seeing. Um, we are a new and used bookstore in downtown Marshall, Michigan, and we have been doing some of these videos to give you some ideas about books that we have in our store that we're able to order, and just to give you ideas of your next books that you should be reading and should have on your shelf. Um, we do, like I said, have both new and used books in store. We can also order books, both new and used. You can check out our website to see what we have in store and what's available to order new. If there's a book that you'd like to try to get in used, just contact our store. You can either email us or call us or pop in, and we can look into finding some of those books in used for you if they're available. We'll always find you the best price. We do have a couple of changes that have occurred in some of our pricing for when we do shipping, because we can ship as well due to postal increases. We are now offering free shipping for anything that's over $40 prior to taxes. And then we also do free local delivery for any orders that are over $35 pre-tax. If you are in one of the local area codes, zip codes, you can check out our website to see if you qualify for that. And if you order over $35 worth of merchandise, that might be something that you can take advantage of. Save up on gas, right? We would love for you guys, if you haven't already done so, to please like this video, share this video, because today we're going to be talking about some of the hottest books and authors that we have had in the store over the past few weeks. So like I said, please comment, tag somebody below who is a great reader, or if you know somebody who loves Colleen Hoover, who is an author that is absolutely blowing up the internet and is we are constantly selling out of her books here in store. Or if you know somebody who liked the book Where the Crawdads Sing, or liked the movie, because the movie just recently came out, so that's caused a lot of buzz about the book. These are some of the books that we cannot keep on our shelves. We have people coming in every single day asking for these, so it's impressive that we have the ones that I'm going to show you on our shelf right now. But if you're interested in them, check out the link that is in the video description. It should also be in the comments as well, so that you can shop this link, see what we've got already in store, and you can order those and reserve your copies. Like I said, please like this video, share this video, tag people, tell people about all of the cool things we've got going on in the bookstore. So here's how today's live is going to work, video is going to work. If you see something that you have a question about or that you would like to reserve while you're watching this live, then you can just put in a comment, and I'll make sure that I actually check that. I'm really bad about it, guys. I'm going to try and make sure that I keep checking it consistently. So we can reserve that for you and answer those questions. If you are watching this on replay, you can reach out to our store, or like I said, you can reserve them on our website through the link that's in the description or in the comments as well. I'm going to show you one of the books by Colleen Hoover, and I'm going to talk about some of the books that you may enjoy, or someone that you know may enjoy if they've liked all of Colleen Hoover and they've read all of Colleen Hoover and they need something new. And I'm also going to show you Where the Crawdads Sing, and talk about some books once again if someone loved that book or loved the movie and they need something else to read, some ideas for that. So let's get started without further ado. So this is one of the only books we actually have by Colleen Hoover still in stock. We had her whole gamut last week when I was here at the bookstore. They're gone. They're gone except for the one that I've got in my hand. So this is one of Colleen Hoover's most recent releases. It's called Finding Perfect. It's a novella. It ties up a couple of her series. It ties up her Hopeless series, and it also brings back characters from, oh my goodness, I don't want to get this one wrong, from All Your Perfects. So this is just it's a very quick little read, but it brings back all of those beloved characters and kind of gives some sense of being finished with this. So this is the fourth installment in the Hopeless series. So it's a Friendsgiving party between, oh my goodness, Daniel, Six, Holder, Sky, and Brecken. I've never read Colleen Hoover, so hopefully if you've read the books, you know who these characters are, and you're like, ah! And so then they are kind of some of the characters are asking each other hard questions about where they stand, and having to learn about what they are going to do in the future with that. So if you are somebody who has read the Hopeless series or All Your Perfects, and you want to find out what happens, right, what the ending is, check out Finding Perfect by Colleen Hoover. If you've read a lot of Colleen Hoover books, it seems that most of the people that come in who've read Colleen Hoover, they really like the romance genre. So most of these are going to have some kind of romance relation within them. And one of the other really, really hot authors that we often recommend if someone says they've read all of Colleen Hoover and they need something else is romance author Tessa Bailey. She's gotten several books recently published, recently released. This is one of the few that we've been able to keep on our shelf that we just got in very recently, so that's why it's still on our shelf. This is Hook, Line, and Sinker. And so it's got a lot of the typical romancy schmancy tropes, as I like to say. It's got the main character, Fox. He's a crab fisherman, and he is known as being a ladies' man in town. And he meets Hannah. That's I was going to say Tessa, but I'm like, that's the author. He meets Hannah, who for some reason is not charmed by him and just wants to be friends, which is a massive shock for him. And she's actually trying to pick his brain about how she can win over another guy. But then they start to spend more time together, and I'm sure that you can make some guesses that makes things a little bit more complicated between the two of them. So if you are interested in something, if you've read all of Colleen Hoover, know someone who's read all of Colleen Hoover and needs something else to kind of satisfy that need for a happy ending or need for the romance and all of those things, check out Tessa Bailey's Hook, Line, and Sinker or any of the other books that she's written. If you're looking for a little bit of something that's not quite all as lightweight as I would say the last book is, it's pretty predictable how the last book will likely end based on the genre and based on the marketing that it's been doing. If you want something that's a little bit more realistic, has a little bit more of some of the depth that I think Colleen Hoover's books have, you may like author Sally Rooney. So this book blew up a few years ago. Normal People, it's been made into a Hulu show. It was the one of the notable books for top 100 notable books from 2019 is when this was released. But this is a book that um, has a lot of delving into the relationship, the complex relationship between two people, and you are kind of left guessing as whether or not they will end up together, right? So you've got Connell and Marianne. They grew up together in a small town. And they knew each other, but they were very different. You know, the opposites type thing, which sometimes we know that phrase "opposites attract" it does actually occur, right? And so they start to get closer and get to know one another. And so this book is about their life, their young life, as they move beyond each other and come back to each other constantly. So if you like something that will make you tear up, if that's something that you're looking for, and make you have all the feels, I would definitely check out anything by Sally Rooney, but particularly this book, Normal People. If you're looking for another book that has some of the dealing with a past or with difficult family situations, which I know some of Colleen Hoover's books touch upon, you may be interested in this book by Christina Lauren. It's called Something Wilder, and it is about a woman, Lily, who she has kind of an inheritance from her not so fantastic father, where she goes and she takes tourists on, treasure hunts throughout canyons in Utah, sorry, wrong state, throughout Utah. And she's just trying to get by, just trying to make a living. And then in from her past walks her former gentleman friend, I think it's Leo, I don't want to get, yeah, Leo, her former gentleman friend Leo. And of course, that's a little bit awkward because are no longer together. They had some issues in the past. And so he is with her on one of these treks into the wilderness, and things do not necessarily go the way that are intended and planned, but that may not necessarily be a bad thing. So if you're looking for a book that'll warm your heart and that'll also delve into some of the feels, right, I would definitely check out this release by Christina Lauren, Something Wilder. If you're looking for something with a little bit more spiciness, I guess you could say, within it, I would also check out this book. It's called American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. And also, if you know anybody who likes Bridgerton, this may be something, if they've read through all the Bridgerton and they're still looking for royalty things, this might be something that'll pique their interest. This is about a female rapper named Danielle. Her stage name is Duchess. And she is about to become one of the most wealthy female singers, R&B, yeah, hip hop, excuse me, in hip hop. and she just needs that one deal to fill everything out. And then you've got a prince, Prince Jameson, who tries to stay out of the spotlight. He's trying to appease some of his family members, and he's deciding to, or he tries to book Duchess to do a performance for the royal family, and then they get thrown together, and sparks fly, all those things. So if you're looking for some what I would say sexy time in a book, or something that'll pull at some of your heartstrings, and it'll be a little bit delve into some of the scandals that also occur with royal life, you may appreciate American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. And if you're looking for another, what I call this the romancy schmancy genre. That's just their genre. That's just what I call it personally. If you're looking for something that'll make your heart swell and that'll just be a really sweet story, but it'll also make you laugh out loud, you might want to check out The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. It's got a neurodiverse character, which is something that I really appreciate about this book. So the main character is Stella, and she has Asperger's syndrome. So she doesn't necessarily see the world the way that other people do, and she doesn't interact with people as others would. Sometimes some of those interactions are not necessarily as easy for her. But she's really, really good at her job, which is making predictions about consumer purchases. And she decides that she wants to find a way that she can get better in her love life, but she needs a little bit of assistance with that. She needs someone to help her create, a formula for how to have the perfect love life. And so she hires a professional, an escort, to help her with some of those things. And so there's awkwardness that causes some laugh out loud as they navigate this purchased, I guess you could say, relationship that starts to become a little bit more. So if you're looking for something heartwarming that also makes you laugh and has some great diverse characters, definitely check out things by Helen Huang. I think she's got a couple of other books. There's one that's orange, and I can't remember what that one's called. Bride Test, I think, maybe. But The Kiss Quotient is one of the first books that she released, so check this one out. My last book that I would recommend to anybody who's looking for something after their Colleen Hoover binge and is looking for something to delve into some of the grittier aspects that sometimes come up in Colleen Hoover's writing, because Colleen Hoover is also known for being suspenseful and a little bit of thrill in with all of the romance that's in these newer books. She's got her own mini genre within the genre, I would say. I also recommend Liane Moriarty. She does a great job at delving into relationships, not just romantic relationships, but also into familiar relationships, friend relationships, and pulling out some of that grittiness, some of the not so nice things about them, but working through some of those things. And so I've got Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. It did become a limited series. I was going to say, remember, it's a limited series on HBO Max if you are interested, but I definitely recommend the book because the book always has more things than any film adaptation can ever have, right? So this one is a page turner, as the back of the book and the front indicate, right? A really, really good book that has humorous parts, but also has a little bit of, like I said, some of the dark edges, I guess you could say. So there is a murder within this, an accident, or is it just parents behaving badly, is what it says in the very back. And that intrigued me when I first picked this book up a long time ago, the first time that I found it. So you've got your main character, Madeline. She is a very strong-willed woman within this. And she has another woman within her life, Celeste, who is kind of her opposite, who is more gentle and kind, and wants to make everything go well for everybody, but she's got some dark secrets in her past that don't necessarily show up with all of that kindness, I guess you could say. And then there's a new mom in town, Jane, and she has a very, very dark secrets within her past, and she's super, super young, which also makes people raise their eyebrows about her motherhood within this. And so the three women kind of interact with one another in the situations brought up in this novel. But it has lots of relational things, not just, like I said, lovey-dovey, but also some of the familial and friend relations that are dealt with in a very meaningful way throughout this book. So definitely check out Leanne Moriarty if you've read through all of the Colleen Hoover books. I think she'd be someone who would satisfy a lot of the needs for binge reads that provide some depth. So have you seen any ads for movies over the past few weeks? You've probably seen or heard about Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens or Delia Owens. I'm not sure. I've only ever read it. I don't know how it's pronounced. This book came out actually a while ago, so I was kind of surprised as to how it's suddenly reinflated in popularity because this book was super popular. I want to say like 2019 is when it came out, 2018, 2019, something to that effect. Um, and I remember reading this book, and I like to read a lot, but I don't read quickly. I inhaled this book. I read this in 2 days, and I love recommending this book because it has a little bit of everything for like everybody. It's got a little bit of love story. It's got a murder in it. It's got mystery. It's got family issues. It's got coming of age. It's got a strong female character who has to take care of herself, right? It's got a lot of really great things for people who don't necessarily stick into one genre of books. It qualifies as literary fiction, but like I said, it's got a little bit of everything. So I really highly recommend this book. If you've not read it, please read it before you go see the movie. I mean, if you've seen the movie, still go read the book because the book always, like I said, has things that film adaptations never have. But this book also left me wanting to read something else that was as good, I would say, as intriguing, as deep. And so I'm going to give you a couple of recommendations. A few of these ones I've actually read, and so I can give some personal background and interpretation with that. And a few of them I haven't, but I would say they're probably in the same type of vein for those that liked Where the Crawdads Sing. So I was given this book after I raved about Where the Crawdads Sing, and one of my friends recommended this book to me, and I kind of wrinkled my nose at it because this author is known for the romancy schmancy genre, which, like I said, not something that I typically read. But this book didn't fall just into that category. So the book that I would recommend if you have read Crawdads and you want something that is similar, I would read Giver of Stars. It's got a lot of similar vibes. This is set in, is it 1930s depression, depression era America, in the 1930s, set in Appalachia. And it's about women who would travel from town to town on horseback, and they would deliver books to the small Appalachian towns, and to people who couldn't necessarily get to town very often, so that they could increase their literacy and learn, right, and read. And one of the women within this, let's see, what was her name? It's been a while since I've read this book. Alice, I think. Yes. Alice signs on for this, and so she's going along and doing her writing, all of that stuff. And then the main character, she's accused of murder. Murder of somebody because she's out and about on her horse, and she comes across this person who ends up dead. And so this kind of bounces. It doesn't bounce back and forth quite as much as Crawdads, but it's got the same type of vibe as you've got a woman who's being accused of a very heinous crime. Did she actually commit it? Did she have motive? She might have had motive. Did she commit it? You'll have to read to find out. But this one gave me very similar satisfaction after reading it. I liked Crawdads a little bit better, but if you're looking for something similar to Crawdads, definitely check out Giver of Stars. You will not be disappointed. Another book that I put in the same category as Crawdads because it delves into relationships, not just romantic relationships, but other types of relationships as well, is a book that I read several years ago before Crawdads, I believe. I read An American Marriage by, I'm probably going to butcher this, by Tayari Jones. It was one of the 2018 notable books by the Times. And once again, this is another book that I inhaled. I think I read it in maybe 3 days. I read it very quickly, and I don't read quickly. I like to read a lot, but I don't read quickly. And I think I stayed up like super late finishing it because I had to know how it ended. But this is it's got a little bit of love in it. It's got a young couple recently married. They're just absolutely in love. They're African American. Celestial and Roy, and they're living the dream, and they are at a hotel one night, living the dream as a young couple, and suddenly police burst in and they accuse Roy of murder of a woman who was at the hotel at the same time as them, and so he is shipped off to incarceration. And so this story weaves back and forth between um, Celestial's life without him and having to deal with repercussions from this incident, and also his life while he is incarcerated. And is their love going to be able to navigate this and to survive this massive wrinkle in what they had their dreams set on? You'll have to read to find out. But like I said, this was a very, very good book. It left me thinking, which is something that I really liked, and it ended the way that it needed to. So definitely check out An American Marriage. Now, I know I recommended this author in the last section, but I think that this is another author who can kind of tread the line between multiple genres. Can't narrow this author down into one genre. If you like the scandal and murdery aspect of Where the Crawdads Sing, definitely recommend Leanne Moriarty. Again, like I said, she had Big Little Lies in the last section, but I would recommend her for if you're looking for another intrigue and scandal and background secrets, I guess you could say, type book. So this is The Husband's Secret, which has not been made into a film or limited series. This is just advertising Big Little Lies on the front of this. But you have our main character Cecilia, whose husband passed away, and when she opens a letter that is addressed to her after his death, she finds a very shocking secret that he has kept from her over the years. And oops, sorry, what's going on? Stop that. After his death, she finds a letter that indicates some things are not as they appear. So if you're looking for something with the mystery, the intrigue, and the trying to regain your life after something massive has been revealed to you that changes your entire perspective, definitely recommend Leanne Moriarty and The Husband's Secret for those of you looking for a good, satisfying page turner after reading Crawdads. Another book that often people have read and they say they really liked it, and I put it in the same category as Crawdads for readability and for the rave reactions and reviews, that anybody that I've ever talked to about this book and that you would probably like if you've read Crawdads, is Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. So this is something, if you liked the self-sufficiency that is showcased in Where the Crawdads Sing, you'll probably like this book. It is about a family in the 70s, and they move into a remote area in Alaska. It's a man, Ernst, and his wife Cora, and their teenage daughter Lenny. And so they move into a cabin up in Alaska. It's pretty remote, and then suddenly mother and daughter discover how very far away from everybody and how very much on their own they are. So this has hardship in it. It has family, what counts as family, and how much should you rely on family, what should you do for your family within this book. And it is a good survival story as well. So if you are looking for something to satisfy that self-sufficiency and the adventure-esque aspect of Where the Crawdads Sing, definitely recommend Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. I didn't check the comments, and I probably should, just to verify that no one's asking questions. Good, doesn't look like anyone's got a question so far. If you are looking for another one of those, like I said, non-traditional family type stories, which also features some secrets in the background, I would definitely also recommend this book called The Outside Boy by Janine Cummins. She wrote American Dirt, which regardless of how you feel about that, I think this book might be something that you appreciate if you liked Where the Crawdads Sing as well. So this is set in Ireland in the late 50s, early 60s, and so we've got a young boy whose name is Christopher. He goes by Christy. And he is a person on the move. The back says gypsy, person on the move with his family, and he's haunted by the stories of how his mother died during his childbirth. So it's something that's always weighed upon him. So then suddenly the wandering life is cut short when a family member dies, and he is moved into a stable place in town, and so he starts to go to school while he is there, and goes through all the firsts as somebody who has not lived in society is suddenly living in society. And then as he's trying to find his way in a normal life, he discovers a long buried secret from his mother's past that might change everything. So if you like something, like I said, with the family ties aspect, with a little bit of the intrigue that you found in Where the Crawdads Sing, and also non-conventional family stuff and non-conventional life, you may like Where the Outside Boy by Janine Cummins. Last book that I'm going to show you, if you like Where the Crawdads Sing, that you might also appreciate. This is a few years old as well, but I definitely put it in the same category in my brain as Crawdads, is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed, I think is how you say it. I'm presuming it's Kylie Reed. This is a book, part of Reese's Book Club from 2020, and it was a Booker Prize winner, which is pretty notable accomplishment. This is about a woman, Alex, who she has a daughter, and she hires Amira to take care of her daughter as a babysitter when she's not able to be with her. And so one day, Amira, who is African American and Alex is not, and her daughter is not, they are at the grocery store late at night, and Amira is accosted and blamed for kidnapping Alex's daughter. And there's videos that go along with this. And of course, we all know how social media works, right? Hopefully, you've liked and shared this video by now. But when you share videos, that also spreads them everywhere, which is what's going on in this book, right? And so Alex feels terrible about all of this, the misunderstanding, and about how Amira is treated. So she tries to find a way to make it right. Amira is kind of leery about that, and then Amira learns something about Alex's past that kind of sets off a whole new twist within the story. And so they're going to completely change everything that they believe about themselves, about each other, and what their lives are like. So if you like something that is has the twists, the turns, the secrets from the past, and is just a good drama, and also deals with societal relations, right? I would definitely recommend Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. All right, well, those are all the books that I'm going to show you guys. If you get to make it out to our store, check out the shelves. They're going to stay up, and they've got all the books that I've recommended, and I'm going to keep refilling with other books that I'm not able to showcase today. So you'll be able to see other, if you liked this, you might like something else. A couple of reminders for places that you can see us in the near future. We are going to be at Battle Creek Sliloapalooza on July 29th and 30th. So check us out there. We're going to have a booth there. Check out our booth. Come say hi, and check out all the really fun books that we are going to have there. We're going to feature some of our most irreverent, our most quirky, our most eccentric books and items that we also showcase in store. And if that weren't enough, we're also going to be back in Battle Creek as well on July 31st for the Breaking Bread Bazaar. Say that 10 times fast, right, guys? Which will be outside of Cafe Rica, featuring a lot of local artisans and local small businesses promoting their products. So stop on by. It's got great samples, it's got live music, and it's just a really fun time. We had a great time last month, and we are super excited to have been invited back. So we look forward to seeing all of you at those events, or come and see us in store and come and say hi. Like I said, please like and share this video, tag people, tell people about this, and we look forward to helping you find your next new story. Have a great day, guys.